in a spiritual journey, you'll get to know a lot of things which will definitely change your life.
If you constantly practice meditation, you will automatically just be in that state where the outside things don't influence you.
If I'm going somewhere, like I'm going to Delhi from Gurgaon, I said there's two places, and it takes around 15 minutes to reach that. But if it's there's a lot of traffic, it might take 1 hour to move 100 meters.
Sure.
At that time, I'll just practice if I get anxious or not. I'll just concentrate on mind. I'll see what kind of feeling I get at that place. I'll look around at people would be shouting at each other, they would be honking and all. And then I'll see what they're doing. I am not the person. I know what actual happiness is. This is just a time which will pass. After an hour, I will be there.
Hello and welcome to the Modern Day Spirituality Podcast by Manav Dharam, a podcast dedicated to those in search of spiritual insight and awareness. We're going to be discussing and speaking to many people from different corners of the world who will share their spiritual journeys and their thoughts. My name is Kavi, and today's topic we are speaking about happiness, an amazing topic. I'm sure everyone wants happiness in their life, so let's see what we can do. And I've got two great speakers with us here today. We've got Simi and Sunny with us today. Thanks both for joining us. We look forward to delving into the great thoughts and your thoughts on happiness. But before we start, it'd be great to just hear from you both in terms of introducing yourselves and where you guys are. So Simi, can I start with you?
Thank you, Kavi. My name is Simi Nanda, and I'm 59 years old. And as a profession, I work in a school and I'm an admin officer.
Okay. So I guess you get to see a lot of the happiness, a lot of the sadness in the schools.
Yes, definitely, yes. Lots of happy children.
Great stuff. Sunny, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure, Kavi. Thanks for having me here. I'm Sunny. I'm 33. I moved to London around 2 years back, and I'm working in IT.
Okay, great. So not sure whether happiness moving to London was a good thing or not. I guess it
Definitely
depends how you see things, right?
Definitely it is.
So how were both your journeys here today? All good? You travel smoothly? No issues?
Yeah, no, it was quite
Good stuff. And
It's a
I
great
guess
one.
the sun's gone here, so unfortunately we're not quite as warm, and therefore we can be quite chilled out and in a nice environment right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. And then I'm sure everyone's fueled up, ready to go for the day. Everyone had their dhokras and teplas.
Yeah, I just had that. It was good.
Good stuff. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
So I guess we'd like to just start by talking a bit about the definition of happiness, which is, I mean, lots of people have different thoughts on this. But what we thought was we found something from Oxford Dictionary, which said the state of pleasurable contentment of mind and the deep pleasure or in contentment with one's circumstances. Quite a lot to think about there, but I don't know, just thought I'd get the thoughts from you both, what your sort of thoughts are on happiness in terms of a definition. Can we define it is probably the first question.
Yes, happiness, it is the state of mind. It's an emotion, and it's how you feel. Circumstances also affect how you feel, your emotions. And happiness is when it's a state of where you feel joy, and you feel content, you're satisfied with whatever's around you, then you're happy.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I guess it's almost like saying there's numerous different impacts on your life which could cause you to be happy or cause you to go the opposite way, which is the sadness side, isn't it? I don't know, Sunny, how do you feel about that definition that I just read out to you there? Does that make sense to you or not really?
Yeah, I think I agree to that. Like happiness is definitely the feeling of contentment and feeling of joy and pleasure. But if I take it to myself, what I will define is something for me. Happiness is when I feel like smiling to myself.
Sure.
The smile comes from my inner because of my peace and the contentment what I am having. I'm feeling because of that. Like if I'm feeling to smile to myself, I think that's the happiness to me.
So you're saying almost going internally is giving you that smile, right?
Exactly.
Sort of,
yeah.
If you're feeling good internally, your aura showcases that happiness, right? Is that
exactly.
what it is?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Great, awesome. I guess in that sense, then, so yeah, to get to that level, what makes you happy? I guess is a great start. Like, what actually gives you that contentment that you've both been speaking about? Simi, do you want to go first?
Okay. So, what makes me happy? I like to see happy people.
Okay.
So, if I'm surrounded with happy people, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Or if I've done something to make somebody happy, I feel really happy.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I like being around happy, positive people. And if I'm satisfied
Yeah.
that I've done what I should be doing, then I feel really happy.
Great.
Yes. But definitely, sometimes the circumstances might influence that,
Yeah.
But I do try and keep myself happy.
I mean, would you say it's a state of almost osmosis where if you're, like you said, if you're feeling happy or people around you are happy, it breathes into your, and in the same way, would you say that's the opposite? If you're feeling sad, someone else is feeling sad around you. Does that also build into you, or do you think it's only the happiness side that really impacts you?
No, I think it does influence. When you see somebody not happy, obviously, you'll always have that little bit of, yeah. And but what we need to try to do is give that the happiness vibe to the other person, maybe help them out. So with me, I feel happiest when I've been able to help somebody out. Or if somebody's feeling sad, help them out. I might feel happier.
It's that
If
positivity almost, isn't it?
yes, it's a
Bouncing off of each
positivity,
other.
yes.
Great.
And so
Great. And Sunny, what makes you happy then? In that
No,
sense? Is it making other people happy, or is it the great food you get to eat, or something
no,
like
definitely. I'm saying that's a great thing that she feels happy by seeing other people happy. That's a great feeling. But for me, it is in addition to that, like traveling, having good food, and meeting to friends, and listening to music. There are lots of things which makes me happy. Sitting in a garden in a rainy season and having some food which you like most, and that's those things, like those some things which makes me happy. And but I'd say happiness is a practice. Once you start understanding the things, once you start following few I would say
Are you almost saying like once you start doing stuff that makes you happy, it's understanding that?
Exactly. I'm
Once
saying,
you
what I
understand
wanted
that.
to say is happiness will be there once you start understanding the situations, understanding the things and how they works, what would be the outcomes and what would be the impacts. But you understand, you think in a broader perspective, not only that situation, then I think
So it's almost like
try to
saying,
understand the happiness, what exactly it is.
for example, for me, if I really enjoy sport, watching sport,
Yeah.
I know I watched it once, it's great, I love it.
Yeah.
So then in my mind, I'm like, okay, next time I get to watch that, I know I'm going to have that enjoyment.
Yeah.
So continue to build that into your sort of
Right.
routine or sort of thoughts. Is that what you're sort of referring to almost?
Yeah, I would say, that's what I wanted to say. Like, if you watch any sports, definitely it gives you happiness.
Yeah.
But at certain time, it might cause you sadness as well. Because if you get addiction to that and you are not able to get it, it will make you sad.
Or if your team loses.
Yeah, so that's not the actual happiness.
Yeah.
So you have to give a broader perspective to that. You have to understand that what actually happiness is, and then I think
how
feeling is.
I mean, how do we think? Like, what do we think triggers that happiness? So, like I said, I watch sport, I really enjoy it, and it triggers.
Yeah.
Do you think it's the way we've been, like, there's science behind it, or do we think it's really, it's just other people doing it, therefore I'm going to follow, like my friends all watch the sport, therefore I'm going to follow golf. Great, let's do that. Or do we think there's a science behind what's triggering in our brain and what we like? Because not everyone enjoys the same things, right? I don't know what you think on that, Simi.
yes, definitely. I think we've heard about happy hormones, haven't we? Yeah. So it's something that you enjoy. As Sunny said, he likes those. Probably sits. Happiness means different things for people, doesn't it? Somebody might be just happy sitting in the garden. Somebody might be happy going away somewhere on a cruise or something. Everybody has different, reasons for being happy. Yeah. So definitely something that you like. If it goes your way, I think most of us, if things go your way, you certainly feel happy. So if you, for example, want to watch some sports and you are able to watch it, you're going to be happy. And if your team wins, you'll be happier. So definitely, it releases some hormones.
I mean, is there anything else outside of that sort of, okay, we're talking on the periphery there, that sort of brings you that joy, that happiness? Anything you guys are involved in, say, spiritually, that really supports that? Anything, I know, Sunny, anything you're involved in that really helps?
Yeah, Kavi, for me, my spiritual journey started quite long back. And definitely the real happiness, what I have understood is has come through that spiritual journey only. So having food, traveling, all these things makes me happy, but definitely it's a short-term happiness.
Yeah.
It can make me sad as well. So that's what I said earlier. And but the true happiness is which is the feeling of contentment, which is always there. Whatever the situation is, it doesn't matter. You feel that inner peace inside you, and that can be understood, or that can be experienced only by the spiritual journey, I believe, what I
Okay.
have known till now.
Great.
Yeah.
And same question, I guess, Simi, do you want to add to that? Is there anything there from the spiritual side that you find that is really giving you that happiness?
Yes, definitely. So as Sunny said, all this happiness that we look out in the material world is short term.
Yeah.
You know, you may buy a new car, it will get old one day. So it may not give you the same happiness, you know.
Later on.
So, yes, following the spiritual journey. So I've got a spiritual teacher. So I'm
Great.
a part of the Manav Dharam Society. And having a spiritual teacher has made a big difference to my life, where he has shown me a way where I can have eternal happiness, okay? And you can feel eternal bliss.
Great.
So if you're happy within yourself, then everything just seems good. It doesn't matter, you know, you're content, as Sunny said, with whatever the situation is. You know, it may be sunny one day, you'll be happy, but it might be rainy one day.
Yeah.
So how can you constantly be satisfied? So, you know, my spiritual journey has really taught me how to be happy. And that my spiritual teachers taught me how to meditate.
Okay, great.
When you meditate, that's when you keep your mind focused on something that doesn't change. Because most of the time, we focus our minds on things that are forever changing.
Yeah, agreed.
The material world,
Yeah. I
forever
mean,
changing.
are we almost saying that there's almost, let's say, an external barrier to you guys in that sense? If you've gone on this spiritual journey and you've been provided, say, some information or understanding, that you've got this barrier, like you said, you're content internally. Therefore, anything that happens outside of you, does it really impact you? Is that what you're almost
That's what
saying?
I'm trying
right?
to say,
Yeah,
yes.
great. Awesome.
Definitely.
So
yeah.
there is that big happiness coming from that. I don't know, Sunny,
Yeah.
you want to add to that?
Definitely, the meditation is the final path which will lead to the happiness. But before that, you have to listen to satsangs, which you call spiritual preachings.
Okay.
And that give you these actual clarity about the life, actual clarity about what meditation is,
Sure.
why you should do it, how it's going to help you, and what way you should do it. You get to know all those things if once you start listening to satsangs. So I started listening to satsangs quite long back, like when I was a child, and since then, like I started building those emotions and feelings what actually I should do in my life.
Yeah.
And that constant practice since then has led to me the life what I'm living right now, where I always try to be happy or always feel happy, and that helps me a lot in a lot of things.
Great. So I know you've both spoken here about sort of how the spiritual journey has impacted and your happiness. Throw a curveball in there. We live in this crazy world, right?
Yeah.
We're going 24 hours. We're going 100 miles an hour, 24/7 almost. How has that impacted, I guess, your happiness? And can we be happy in a world where we're constantly just running from one thing to the next? And also on that, how does that, from what you're saying in terms of the spiritual side of things, how has that helped you in that sort of sphere that we currently live in?
Well,
I know it's a long question, but like, how do you think that's helped you guys in that sense?
Okay, so remember, as I said, meditation helps. So what is meditation? It's when you focus your mind on something, right? So through spirituality, we have learned to focus the mind somewhere where you can get eternal bliss. Okay? So if you constantly practice meditation, you will automatically just be in that state where the outside things don't influence you. I mean, it's quite a long journey. It doesn't happen overnight.
Like that, no.
Okay, yeah. So we are all human beings, you know, and
Yeah,
I'm sure
exactly.
everybody, we all like, you know, I'm saying this, well, I get really stressed out as well. But we have got that key within us. We can learn how to overcome all that stress Just keep your mind focused, be calm, and just tackle all the difficulties, because the difficulties are going to stay all the time. I mean, you'll get storms, you'll get rain, but you can protect yourself, isn't it? You can use a brolly in the rain.
In the same way.
So in the same way, you've got a tool within you where you can protect yourself and carry on. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Right.
I don't know if Sunny wants to add to that.
Yeah, and I'd say in addition to meditation, there are a few other things what I've learned from my spiritual journey, like the feelings of detachment, the feeling of selfless love, the feeling of giving to others, helping others. These all things, all the lessons or the teachings what I've got always helps me a lot in my normal life, I would say. So feeling of detachment, I would say it's same like whenever I have something like in the physical world, I have food or I travel to somewhere, it makes me happy. But at the same time, I keep a feeling behind in my mind that it's a short-term happiness. So that feeling of detachment doesn't attach me to the specific thing which can make me happy. So that has helped me, I would say, to deal with a lot of situations where I was not able to get what I wanted, but still I was happy. So I say in a spiritual journey, you'll get to know a lot of things which will definitely change your life.
And I guess support that
Yeah.
us in this sort of world we live in, which is just
Exactly.
crazy, right?
Yeah.
We see that we get up in the morning, first thing we do, straight to work. Like straight away, you're on that sort of work train, and you're like, okay, I'm thinking about what I've got to do next. What's next? Oh, you come home, got to cook, got to clean, got to do this. So you're almost showcasing that through this spiritual journey you've both been on, it supported your sort of thought process, right? Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
Do you think happiness should define us as people? I think because it's quite like you say, it's a subjective. Happiness is subjective, but do you think it should define us as human beings or not, or do we think it shouldn't?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, I think our true state is like that, really.
Happiness.
But with the outside influences, we make ourselves.
Do you think we bring it on ourselves?
Yeah, we do. But otherwise, our true identity is that.
So would you say, let's say we go back to the Stone Age, where there was no phones, nothing like that. Do we think their only thought was the small things they needed to think of, and therefore happiness potentially was a lot more fruitioning at that point? Would you say so?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, they were happy. I remember, like years ago. Obviously, I'm much older than both of you, and our lives were pretty basic. Yeah. But we were so happy. We didn't get all the toys that all the youngsters are getting now, and all the gadgets. We didn't have anything. Yeah. But I think we had a happier life. So it just shows, doesn't it, that you can be happy. And as I said, happiness means different things to different people. Yeah. Somebody who doesn't own a house or anything, to them anything like little, just get shelter for one day is happiness. Yeah. People who don't get food, if they just get... With us, when you've got everything, I think that's where we...
Trip up.
Yes, we do, because we expect too much, and as Sunny said, if you keep yourself detached maybe a little bit and don't expect a lot, then I'm sure, we can all be happy.
Yeah. Do we think that, like, happiness comes without sacrifice, though? Because that's something I've thought about quite a bit. Like, do we have to sacrifice something to get that happiness? Do we need to do something to
I
get
think
that?
yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay.
Not bit, I would say a lot. You have to sacrifice a lot to be happy.
Sure.
Because there's no end. See, if you want to get something and you get it, and after that you will be in a different environment where the expectations will be more higher, where the levels will be higher. You will like to achieve further than that, and then if you go further, you will find someone else there, and you will again you'll go think of going further than that as well. So there's no end to that, and you have to sacrifice a feeling of greed. You have to sacrifice a lot of things, I would say, to be happy. You can be in a situation where you won't be able to get the things what you want. If I take my example, how I do it, if even if like sometime if I'm sitting at my home in India, I was there. I moved to London around 2 years back only, and before that I was in India. So in India, I used to create environment like if I'm in going somewhere, like I'm going to Delhi from Gurgaon. I said there's two places, and
Sure.
it takes around 15 minutes to reach there. But if it's there's a lot of traffic, it might take 1 hour to move 100 meters.
Sure.
At that time, I will just practice if I get anxious or not. I'll
Okay.
just concentrate on mind. I'll see what kind of feeling I get at that place. I'll look around at the people would be shouting at each other. They would be honking and all. And then I'll see what they're doing. I am not the person.
Yeah.
I know what actual happiness is. This is just a time which will pass. After an hour, I will be there.
Yeah.
So if I am anxious right now, I might waste my 1 hour.
Yeah.
It's better to be happy. It's better to understand the situation and then react according to that.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'd say you have to sacrifice your ego, you have to sacrifice your anger, you have to sacrifice your greed, and then you get the happiness.
And coming back to how you spoke about Manav Dharam, how do you think Manav Dharam makes you both happy, I guess, in that sense?
Okay, so
I can see it from the smile on your face straight away. It's like,
Manav Dharam has brought a lot of happiness to my life, as I've said, because you're surrounded with happy people. Okay, Manav Dharam is a really, really positive and uplifting society. Okay, it's there to make people's lives better. And my spiritual teacher, I've learned so much from him, and he is so inspiring. He inspires loads of people out there, and the people like all the people who are involved in the society are so positive as well. And being around such positive people, it brings happiness, and they're showing us how we can be happy in this world.
Very
Yeah,
good. I guess
definitely.
coming back to your osmosis point earlier, people around you are happy, it sort of builds into you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I'd say if I look around me, like in my younger generation, people don't usually talk about spiritual things. But whenever I ask my friends, all of them almost say they do meditation nowadays.
Okay.
Maybe for 5 minutes, 10 minutes they do, but still they are not happy. But still they are. I see that anxiousness in them, and I think the reason behind that is they don't have the correct path to move
Sure.
forward in that journey of meditation. So for that, I think you have to get a right master.
Sure.
And what I have got from Manav Dharam, from Shri Satpalji Maharaj, the path he has shown me has actually led to me that place, or I would say, had actually shown me the journey which I should follow, and which has impacted me, and I see the impact on myself.
Yeah.
It can be seen by the people around me as well.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So yeah, I think I have got a lot from this narration.
Great. I guess what teachings would you say have really imparted that sort of happiness on you from Manav Dharam? Is there anything specific you'd say that has really been like, that's been the key point that's brought that happiness out in you, or not so?
Okay, so there are 2 or 3 key things
Sure.
which I've learned. Okay, first of all, meditation. Okay, so that's self-regulation, really, isn't it?
Yep.
You know, where you like. That's the thing. We have to self-regulate ourselves, and another thing is being positive. Okay, and also I've learned from this spiritual teacher how to live in this world and stay detached.
Yeah.
Okay, so you still have to carry on with all the duties, do all the work, do whatever. But if you get too engrossed with all that, then we're never going to be happy.
Yeah.
So if you keep yourself detached, you know, you can keep yourself happy.
And I
Yes,
guess
it
that's
is.
one of the hardest points, right?
It is
How
quite
do you
hard.
detach?
It is quite hard.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you have to detach in such a way that you like stop doing things.
Yeah.
You still carry on, as I said, perform all the duties, but don't think that's it.
That's the be all
Because
and
that's
end
not
all.
it. Yeah, that's not it. And it's how to improve yourself. It's self-realization, which has really helped me.
Okay.
And you have to analyze yourself, okay? And before changing anyone else, we have to change ourselves.
Exactly.
And that's what I feel. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Sunny, any closing remarks in that sense?
I'd say definitely the meditation is the main thing, and the technique what they have told us give us that power of concentration. And if you have the concentration, you would be able to do things in a better way, in an easy way. Whatever you're doing in your life, whether it is related to your office work, your homework, or anything, you will be able to handle the situation very easily if you have peace inside, if you have calmness, if you have concentration, and definitely things get much easier.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's a main thing what I have been taught.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you both for coming on the podcast and sharing your thoughts on happiness. As everyone will have heard at home, there are very different versions in terms of how happiness is coming through. Like you both said, Manav Dharam has had a big impact on you both and has brought out all the righteous things that you guys have been looking for. So thank you both for coming along and sharing your thoughts. I mean, it's great to see that some of the definitions were different, but also the way in which you guys see happiness is viewed in different impacts. So thank you both for coming along. And thank you all for listening at home for this topic that we had on happiness. The Modern Day Spirituality podcast will be back soon with more topics and taking you further into the spiritual journey. Join us next Wednesday, 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time, 12:30 p.m. British Summer Time, and 7:30 a.m. US Eastern Time for the next episode of the Modern Day Spirituality podcast. And if you like the podcast, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share. See you next Wednesday.